We're back. Another episode of Lost in the Shuffle. Boo. Boo. That's what it sounds like at Citi Field, guys. Citi Field. Lot of boos. Lot of boos. Coming from the fans. Coming from players. Francisco Lindor and Javy Baez. Thumbs down at the fans. When they Javy hit a home run the other day and gave the fans a thumbs down. His response was because of all the boos that have been going on. All the boos at Citi Field. So I'm going to play for you what he had to say in his press conference.
Hey, Javier, what is the thumbs down celebration after a big hit mean?
Just the boos that we get. You know, we're not machines. We're gonna struggle. You know, we're gonna struggle 7 times out of 10.
More like 8 out of 10, but yeah.
It just feels bad when we strike out. When I strike out and I get booed, you know, it doesn't really get to me. But like I want to let them know that when we success, we're gonna do the same thing to know how to let them know how it feels. You know, because if we win together, then we gotta lose together. You know, and the fans are really big part of it. So, in my case, they gotta be better. You know, I play for the fans and I love the fans, but you know, if they're gonna do that, they just putting more pressures on the team, and that's not what we want.
So he doesn't want more pressure. If we win together, we're gonna lose together. Doesn't want to be booed. Well, if you're batting .242, 72 RBIs, 26 home runs, pretty pedestrian. 153 strikeouts this year. His most ever is 167 in 2018, which he will surpass at some point this year. Did you see his swing from last week? His swing and a miss? I showed it to you on our social media. He was 3 seconds ahead of the ball. And you wonder why people are booing you? It's New York. It's not Chicago. You're now playing for a team who you have not won a World Series for. You're playing in the biggest sports market in the entire country. A baseball-loving town. Mets. Mets gave up their number 5 ranked prospect, Pete Crow Armstrong. He's with the Cubs organization now. They gave him up for a guy who is booing his own fans. Baez won't be there in a few weeks. He'll be gone. He's not coming back to New York. He's going to be, they say he's going to be a footnote with the Mets. And that's what you gave up. You gave up your number 5 prospect to Pete Crow Armstrong over to the Cubs. Great move for Jed Hoyer. Retrospect now. Look at that. Can you imagine? You're the Mets and you're giving up number 5 prospect for a guy who's booing your own fans. He's booing the fans. If you guys look at what Chris Russo said today, this kind of pissed me off. Chris Russo, he goes by Mad Dog. He's this New York guy. He's real loud. He's got a show. And on his show today, he said, "This isn't Wrigley Field where people don't care. This is New York City. Just shut up and play. Javy Baez is an embarrassment." Now, this pissed me off because as a Cubs fan, that guy doesn't know shit about Cubs or Cubs fans or anything. Cubs fans love their team, okay? Generational type of love. Grandparents, parents, children, all that kind of stuff. So that pissed me off. What I think he was trying to say or get across was, this isn't Chicago where you have won a World Series for this city, where you have grace, where you are given leniency because of the success that you have brought to this city. I think that's what he was trying to get across, hopefully. Because if you think Cubs fans, don't care about Wrigley or the Cubs, you're just plain stupid. So I saw that. But that is a good point. You're not playing for a team you haven't done anything for. You haven't won a World Series. You're there to produce, and you haven't. Like I said, I think he's had 20 strikeouts in the last 15 games. Again, he's batting .242, 72 RBIs, very pedestrian. Makes a lot of mental mistakes, forgetting how many outs there are, swinging at bad pitches. But that's what you're going to get with Javy. You're going to get the good with the bad. And you either have to accept that and like it, or just understand that's kind of what you get with him. El Mago, the magician, right? Here's what the Daily News. This was the overreaction of the year. Daily News. Mets, go to hell, fans. You can't see that. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. Go to hell, fans. Go to hell, Powers. It's just he just gave thumbs down. It's not. He didn't tell anybody to go to hell. It was kind of just major overreaction on the Daily News part. And then, of course, the president of the Mets, Sandy Alderson, had to come out with a statement and says the following. In a post-game press conference today, Javy Baez stated that his thumbs-down gesture during the game was a message to the fans who recently have booed him and other players for poor performance. These comments and any other gesture by him or other players with a similar intent are totally unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Mets fans are understandably frustrated over the team's recent performance. The players and the organization are equally frustrated, but fans at Citi Field have every right to express their own disappointment. Booing is every fan's right. The Mets will not tolerate any player gesture that is unprofessional in its meaning or is directed in a negative way towards our fans. I will be meeting with our players and staff to convey this message directly. Mets fans are loyal, passionate, knowledgeable, and more than willing to express themselves. We love them for every one of these qualities. It's not wrong. Check this out. August 1st. Today is August 30th. August 1st, here's the standings in the NL East. Mets are up 3.5 games in the division. They're up 7.5 games in the wild card. This is August 1st. This is 30 days ago. Top of the division with Philadelphia 3.5 games behind, Atlanta 4 games behind, Philadelphia 7.5 games in the wild card behind. Let's go to today. Mets 7.5 games behind. Phillies 4.5 games behind, and Braves are leading the division all in a month. Can you just understand? Yeah, I saw my team go from first to third in the division to not even really being close to 7.5 games behind. Yeah, you're gonna get booed. You're gonna get booed. And that's all the time while you were there. You were there that entire time. So you're gonna get the brunt of that. I think for good reason too. But here's the difference, I think. Now listen, I love Javy Baez. He helped win a World Series with the Cubs. I think he's magical on the base paths, defense. You'll get some streaks of great hitting. Here's the difference though. Here's a quote from Derek Jeter after being booed in 2004, after his batting average dropped below 197. I don't blame them. We would have booed ourselves tonight too. It's hard to imagine being worse than we were tonight. Put me at the front of the list. That's a guy owning his actions, owning his performance. It's a guy who played 2 decades in New York. Everyone's not cut out for New York, man. You got to be tough. These fans expect a lot. They expect a lot. That's a difference between a shortstop and a second baseman. One who played for the Yankees, one who played for the Mets. I don't know. But that's not the real problem, because Baez is going to be gone. Baez is going to be gone in a few weeks. He won't be around. He'll be forgotten. Not a big deal. Francisco Lindor was also a part of that booing, telling the fans, we don't appreciate that kind of stuff. Lindor is on a 10-year, $341 million deal that doesn't start until next year. You got him for a while, and he's doing this kind of stuff. And him and Baez are good buddies, real good buddies, both from the Dominican. But that's not good when the guy that you just paid $341 million for a decade, and he's doing the same shit this guy's doing. Lindor has not been good this season either. Francisco Lindor is ranking 147th in OPS plus out of 174 players with at least 350 plate appearances. So out of 174, he ranks 147. That's OPS plus, on-base percentage plus slugging plus, which accounts for ballparks and adjusted things like that. The whole thing, how they explained it was Baez, think he saw how much all the booing was impacting his buddy, Lindor. Lindor was getting booed. Baez was getting booed. So they were saying Baez kind of saw how that was affecting him, and they used this. Conforto was in on it as well. They felt like this would be a way to kind of protect and unify each other as a team. So I can see how that would make sense. As a teammate, you don't want anyone attacking your buddy, your teammate, your friend. So you want to stick up for him, right? So I get that. I get that part of it. He's being a good teammate. He's being a good friend. If I see somebody, harassing a friend, and especially someone who's struggling, I'd want to protect them too. I don't want to see them suffer or, be kicked while they're down. But this isn't Cleveland anymore, It's not easy to be Mr. Smiles, Francisco Lindor, Mr. Smiles, in New York if you're not producing. It's not Cleveland. Cleveland, you can do that because it's Cleveland. Right? So that's that. Complete mess in Citi Field. Yeah. That's that. So we'll see how that continues to unfold. Also, Shohei Ohtani having the best season of anybody ever. Change my mind. Change my mind and tell me Shohei Ohtani isn't having the best season of any player ever to play. He just became the first player in Angels history, which I know doesn't mean much, with 40 home runs and 20 stolen bases in a single season. Wouldn't you think Mike Trout has done that? He hasn't. First player, 40 home runs, 20 stolen bases in a single season for the Angels history. That's pretty great at the dish, right? Pretty good. Also, he is a pitcher. He's 8-1 on the year. 3.0 ERA. 127 strikeouts. 1.06 whip. Guy's got 41 home runs. Most in the league. Most home runs in the league. 20 stolen bases. 986 OPS. He's like the little kid he's like the best little league player. You remember in little league when it's always the kid who either pitches, plays shortstop, and he rakes. This is what it's like. Nobody is pitching and hitting at the highest level like he is. He's pitching at a very high level. He's the ace on his team. He's also one of the best hitters in baseball. How can you say he's not having the best season of anybody ever? Now you can say, Babe Ruth and all that stuff. I didn't see Babe Ruth play. And he wasn't, he's not seeing the kind of competition that there is now. Nobody's throwing 98 mile an hour sliders. They just weren't, So if you haven't watched Shohei Ohtani, this will go down as one of the best seasons ever in history. So enjoy it while it lasts. There's only a few weeks left in the regular season. Angels will not be a part of the postseason. That's that. Last thing I wanted to talk about yesterday. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. My God, I hate myself for caring about this. I can't name one movie, one TV show, one song, one YouTube channel, one girlfriend, one ounce of talent. I don't know what Jake Paul does. I don't know. I know he's obnoxious. I know he has a YouTube. I know he is annoying. He's got a brother. They're both Paul. I don't know. I don't know anything about what he does, what he sells, what his talent is. I know Tyron Woodley. I know he was in the UFC. I follow UFC. I hate myself for caring this much about somebody I don't even know anything about. But I stayed up till 1 a.m. to watch it last night. I hate myself for it because it sucked. It sucked. The fight was just not good. UFC is such a superior product to boxing. This is what boxing is today. Internet celebrities training and then fighting and then saying that they're boxers. And then we all wait and watch and pay. I don't pay. I stream that shit. And we give all this attention, notoriety. It's just so bad. It's just a gimmick. Such a gimmick. You know, after the fight, Tyron Woodley agreed to get a tattoo that says, "I love Jake Paul," to get a rematch. What is this? I'm going to get a tattoo of another man that says, "I love Jake Paul," so he can get a rematch. The fight wasn't good. There were a couple of heavy shots. 3, maybe. Tyron had two on Jake Paul. Jake Paul had 1 that, kind of just stuck Woodley a little bit, but it was just not good. Jake Paul had his hands down in the second half of the fight, winded, gassed, tired. Just not a good product. I mean, as far as fighting, stylistically, martial arts, whatever you want to call it, it was just not good. Just a bad product. And I'm embarrassed that I stayed up to watch it because I was tired all day today for watching that garbage. So why do we watch it? I don't know why I watch it. Like I said, I don't even know who Jake Paul is or what he does. But I had to see it. That's the thing. I had to know what happened. I had to see if it was rigged, if someone took a fall, something happened. I hate myself for it, but I had to see what happened. So that was that. That was my night last night. Yeah. So that's just basically it. We're going to have another episode this week, I believe, or this weekend, covering, what's it called? Hard Knocks. We missed last week's Hard Knocks. We were busy. But this week we will do a double episode of the Hard Knocks review. We'll see if we can get Tim back. I know he's busy. If not, I'll do it solo again. I know you guys like this one. So, next time, we will see you. Lost in the Shuffle. Free, free, free!